What's up, guys? This is Stacker Factor, and this is an intro to PMs for sale on Reddit. Let's get stacking. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My last video, I talk about PMs for sale on Reddit, and a lot of you guys messaged me, and a lot of you wanted me to make a how-to video on how to use this subreddit. So as you can see, I have it launched up in my browser here. This is the subreddit PMs for sale on reddit.com. It is a community where people buy and sell precious metals. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of listings and they can be kind of confusing. So I'm going to walk you guys through and actually buy something live on the air right now. First and foremost, protect yourself from getting scammed. So this is actually a pretty easy thing to do on PMs for sale. On PMs for sale, you are buying from actual sellers. These are private sales between private stackers. So first and foremost, you'll see right here next to everyone's username, they'll have a color, a little colorful rectangular thing. That is your buyer and seller feedback. The S stands for seller and the B stands for buyer. So we can see right here that this guy RSS24, he is actually a mod for the subreddit. He has sold 145 times and he has bought 97. Now, most 99% of all these numbers are for positive feedback. And so I don't think he'll have any negative feedback at all in that 145, but we can go through and check. So let's go to a live sale right here. This user, Rocky's buddy, is selling all these things, but the very first thing we're going to do is look at his feedback. He's got 187 seller feedback and 138 buyer feedback. That is really good. This is a trusted seller. Usually the gold rectangles are for people who have a certain amount of sales on here, and you can buy with confidence from anybody with a gold rectangle on PMs for sale. Now, before we look at what he's selling, we are going to actually check his feedback. If we go down to the bottom here, you'll see this little post by the auto mod, and right here it says feedback for user Rocky's buddy can be found here. So we're going to click on that. And right here, you can see all the Redditors that have either bought or sold from him, or he has bought from and sold to, I should say. So there are a lot of people on this list, and these are all positive. Now, you are only able to leave a positive or a negative review on someone if you actually buy from them. So these are all confirmed, legitimate, real sales. And as you can see, they are all positive. And you can actually go and message these guys and be like, hey, you know, how was your transaction with Rocky's buddy? Was he responsive? Did he ship well? All that stuff. So that's really handy. And I know that this seller is legit. So we're going to look at some of the stuff that he is selling here. Now, all sellers must include certain things. For example, at the top here, it says WTS in these brackets. That means want to sell. If you want to buy a specific thing, after you get a certain amount of these shiny points, is what they're called, you can post a want to buy ad and you'll see a want to be. If you ever see a WTT, that is want to trade. But for now, this is want to sell. And every seller must put something called proof. So you'll see this on almost any sale. It might say something different like shiny or the goods or whatever. What that is going to be a picture of every single thing here, and it's going to have this user's username and the date. So let's go ahead and check that out. Here's everything that the seller is selling. It has, let me zoom in here. It has his username and the date. Now you'll see a lot of sellers keep the same piece of paper, and they do that just to prove like, hey, I've been selling stuff often, and it's just cool to see. But here are the goods. And for ease of this video, I'm just going to go through and buy something. Now, when you buy on Pmsforsale, you always want to check the shipping. Some sellers will give you free shipping, but this seller says he will ship up to and including 10 ounces for $5, or not including, maybe that's under 10 ounces. He says here anything above 10 ounces. Okay, so sorry, I'm terrible at math, guys. So he'll ship 10 ounces and under for $5, or he'll ship 11 ounces and over for $9. And these are really standard rates. The sellers on here don't charge a whole bunch for the shipping. Like, they're not trying to make profits off of shipping. Like, sometimes you'll see that on eBay for certain things. These are very standard rates. He says here, insurance at buyer's request. Now, since he is shipping USPS, you can tell that because it's priority flat rate. And most sellers use the United States Postal Service to ship. You can request UPS or something else if you want, especially if you're buying like a really huge package, like maybe you're buying 6 or 7 tubes. Maybe you want to ship that UPS. But for most precious metals purchases on here, they're not that big. I rarely ever purchase over 200 ounces at once from Pmsforsale. But nonetheless, it's cool that they're shipping on here. And what's cool about USPS is they will insure you up to $100. So, if you're just buying 3 or 4 American Silver Eagles and something, God forbid, happens to your package in the mail, you're good and covered for up to $100. Let's see, what else? There's something else I wanted to cover here. Maybe I'll have to come back to it. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be talking about in this video, guys, so it's a little daunting and overwhelming. Oh yeah, so one thing that I always do when I buy that goes under the shipping category here is I always tell the seller to use a lot of shipping tape on the outside of the package. Just really mummify it. And that's my trademark word for these guys, is I tell them to mummify the package, because when you put shipping tape on the outside of a package, there's zero chance it's going to get ripped. And the small flat rate boxes are pretty strong, but they're still cardboard, and if they maybe get wet or something, it can compromise the strength of the cardboard. I don't know. I don't have problems. So these sellers are good, especially when you buy from the gold rectangle sellers. They know what they're doing, but always request to have your package taped up well. So on to the sale. We're going to go down here because I'm going to show you some of these code words that you're going to need to learn, and there's really not many of them. So whenever you see PM, that means private message. And what that means is the person is interested in the item, but maybe they have a question or they want to haggle a little bit and get the price down. So you put PM here, and then you go down here to send a PM to op here. Maybe you have a question about something. You go here, private message, question about let's just say Silver Eagle. You send him a message. Now he might say, yeah, maybe you want to know, does the Silver Eagle come with the capsule that's in the picture, for example? You write that to him. He'll message you back and be like, yes, it does. No, it doesn't. If it does, you can be like, well, that's cool, I'll buy it. If it doesn't, you can be like, well, can you take 50 cents off or $1 off if you want to haggle like that? That's totally fine. A lot of sellers will totally work with you like that. But every now and then you'll see a seller that says firm or no haggle or something like that, and they're not really into it. So that is your first code word, PM, and you'll see it here. This user PM'd them. Every now and then, and I'm not seeing one on here. Okay, there it is. Every now and then you'll see a BIN. Now, what BIN means is buy it now. So say you saw an eagle on here that you really like this guy. He says, this is actually a backup buy it now, which I'll get into in just a sec. But say you saw an eagle on here that you really liked and nobody else has claimed it or asked any PMs about it or anything like that. You type be it now or buy it now, BIN, eagle, just like that. What that does is gives you dibs on that eagle if you're the first one to buy it now. Buy it now means you're not going to haggle, you just want it, you'll pay whatever the seller is offering. Buy it now comes in really handy when you see just a really good price on something that was just posted. You want to jump on it. You're not trying to haggle. Buy it now. BIN. Boom. And then you do the same thing that you did with the PM. You go down here and you message the seller. And you'll type in something like BIN eagle and be like, hey, I'll buy that eagle. Now, once you've done that and you send that off, everything seems to be going good. Say you're the first one to type in a BIN. The seller will message you back and he'll usually say, how would you like to pay? All sellers have to list what they take for payment. Zelle is by far the most popular. That's what I use 90% of the time. Cash App works, Venmo, and there's PayPal. Now this seller does not take PayPal, so I don't see it on here, but you'll see something called PPFF sometimes in this payment list. That means PayPal Family and Friends. There are two options to pay on PayPal. There is a PayPal business option and a PayPal Family and Friends. And when you go to the checkout on PayPal, it'll give you that option. You always want to click on the Family and Friends because that will not charge the seller an extra 3% due to PayPal's fees that they do for business accounts. However, if you are doing a big purchase on here, you can go to the first option, the business account that PayPal has, and pay with that and pay the seller an extra 3%. And what that does is PayPal will automatically insure the order and make sure everything is good. So if something's not right with the order, you'll get your money back in full through PayPal. But you do have to pay an extra 3% to have that privilege. PayPal Family and Friends does not cover your purchase like that, but that's the one I use when I do pay with PayPal, as much as I don't like PayPal. Okay, and I wanted to come back to this backup BIN because sometimes you'll see this. What that means is someone has already claimed this item and it's pending, but this guy put backup buy it now in case that sale fell through. Maybe the first guy who put BIN welched on the sale or just never messaged the seller. You could put backup BIN, and if something goes wrong, the seller knows, okay, you got second dibs on the item. Okay, I hope I didn't overload you guys with info so far, but honestly, we are just getting started. So, just for ease of making this video, I'm going to actually buy something right now just to kind of show you guys what's going on. Oh, and before I do that, you'll see here sold. You'll see this Krugerrand and the capsule was sold. And the sellers update these as they go. Once they receive payment, they will go on here and put sold, so you know not to ask them or bid on anything like that has been sold, because what's the point? It's been sold. And I would actually have bought that for this video, but let's see, what else does he got? He's got those Walker coins. Let's go back to the proof here. I'm assuming those are the Walkers. They come in a capsule, which is pretty cool. Or are those Eagles? I can't even tell from here. It's got some more over here. Let's see. The way this is going to work is I'm going to PM the seller. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to buy it now. It'll make it easier for this video. Okay, so I'm going to go BIN Monix, one of these. And hit comment. Okay, so that means I got dibs. So we're going to go down here, send a PM to the op. Now I like putting the title of what it is that I'm buying, because later when you get the item a few days later, you can go back through your messages and it's really easy to find that exact item when you're going to leave feedback. I'll take one of these, and I'm going to add the shipping here. He said $5, so 28.5 is 33.5. So I'm overpaying for this, and not combining other items to save on the shipping, because I could get up to 10 ounces from him, but I'm just doing a straight walkthrough for you guys. So I'll take one of these, $33.50. What is your Zelle? Zelle is my preferred way to go, and this seller also prefers Zelle, so that's how we are going to do this transaction. If you don't have a Zelle account, make one. At least for me, it was free. And you do have a spending limit for like the first week or something, and then they increase it. I think that's just to like prevent people from trying to like pull shady stuff with the app. So here we go. Just messaged him. Now, some sellers will get back to you extremely quick. Other ones, not so quick. He actually already got back to me. He replied to my buy it now. Sure, man, it's yours. So we're just gonna wait a few seconds here for him to get back to me, and it'll give me a little alert. So I'm gonna leave that window open. But I'm gonna show you guys some of the other things that go on this site. So right here, another want to sell. This guy is selling kookaburras, Scottsdale stuff, and not bad prices there. Let's see, what's his shipping? He's only shipping for $10, no matter what you buy, but he is selling kind of bigger packages, so that does make sense. He's got a ½ kilo, which you don't see too often. There's his proof right there. You can see all the stuff he's selling. Look at that. Man, that's some nice shiny guys. He is a gold seller, 308 successful sales. And obviously people are buying from him. You see PM'd. PMED just means PM'd. It's another variation of PM. And chat. Okay, so sometimes people would rather use the Reddit chat than the PMs I was showing you guys. And I don't use the chat a lot. It's kind of buggy for me. But what you would do is you would go here to the seller's profile and you just click chat. And you can chat with him. Some people like it because it's faster actually than than the PMs, because you don't have to wait and check your messages. But I did notice the seller from the round I just bought messaged me here. I'm going to blur out his stuff, but yeah, I shouldn't have. I had to cut that, guys. Sorry, I don't want his private info on there. But he sent me his Zelle contact, and so now I'm going to pay him. All right, guys, I just paid the seller for that round. The way that works is you pay them through Zelle, like I was explaining, and then you say sent in the private message with your address. The seller will usually respond received, and as soon as they drop it off, usually within a few hours or that same day, to the post office, they will send you a tracking and oftentimes a picture of it in the actual package. That way you can also see the label on the package and make sure they got your address correct. And it's really as simple as that. So when I get this in the mail, I'm going to do a part 2 and an unboxing of it, and then I'll show you guys how to go through and activate the bot down here so we can get to the point where we can leave feedback. What'll happen, and maybe I can find a really old sale from a few weeks ago or something down here. Man, there's so many of them. But what happens is when someone receives the item, they'll message the seller and be like, hey, item received, thank you. And the seller will go back to the auction where it was bought from. I might just have it on my profile here. And it'll say the seller will reply trade completed to your PM message, and that triggers the bot and lets the bot know, hey, both parties are happy. You guys can now leave feedback for each other. And obviously, like here, you want to leave positive feedback when you have a positive experience. And oh, here's some feedback that I left for Texican Shooter. Now, Texican Shooter is a new seller, and normally I don't buy from new sellers. But here's where it gets cool, and this is the power of the shiny points, I should say. Where's my Pmsforsale? So because I have 56 buyer points and Texican Shooter had 1 or none at the time, I can't remember, I requested that he ship first. Now it takes a lot of trust to do that, but I have 56 buyer points. You know, I got a channel. He trusted me, and he sent me a tube of Canadian maples, I believe it was, without me paying for it. But because I have these points, he trusted me. He knows I'm legit. I'm on here. I got those maples. I weighed them. I put them on my Sigma. I inspected them. Everything was good. So I left him a feedback review, a positive one. And let me see if I can find him again. I should have prepared for this a little better, guys. But I left him a feedback, and I put shipped first, Sigma verified. So that lets other people know who might want to buy from him, especially if they have good feedback, that he will ship first. And the stuff he's shipping is good to go. So this is going to help Texican Shooter in the future. And if we go to his, let's see, how do we get to his, sorry about this, guys. If we go to his Reddit page, you'll see his shiny points there. You'll see the reviews, and it's just a cool thing to be able to request that sellers ship to you first. You know, sellers with not a lot of feedback. So let's see. I'm trying to find a successful sale for you guys. I sold something here. Where is it? Okay, let's see. Did I buy something here? No, I was just, see, I sent PM there because I wanted to haggle. The guy didn't take my my offer, but that's okay. Here I have a backup buy it now for this rooster, but the first guy who got dibs on it paid for it. Okay, here's one from Bullion. You can see here he's got a ton of shiny points, both as a seller and a buyer. I was the first one to call dibs on these. He said great, trade pending, replied in pending, and then after 7 days I got it in the mail, or it was just sooner than that, 3 days. I got it in the mail and said, hey, thanks Bullion, you rock, everything's good. And so he goes, trade completed, replies to my buy it now, trade completed. That triggers the bot I was talking about. And now I'm able to leave feedback for him, and he is able to leave feedback for me. So that's kind of how it works. There's great stuff to go through. I'm actually going to go through a few of these now so you guys kind of get an idea. Here's a guy selling 1/2 ounce gold Krugerrands proofs. Sometimes you'll see a username down here. All that means is this user knows that this user likes these, so he's tagging them so he can see this. Brings it to his attention in case maybe he didn't catch it or he's busy, not on Reddit. So when he checks his phone, he'll have a nice notification. You'll see 90% silver. 90% silver, for those who don't know, is a lot of times like junk silver or old like silver quarters. They're made out of 90%. Again, the seller, excellent. Here is a guy selling panda. Actually, this guy wants to buy pandas. And he's got good seller feedback, but only one buyer feedback. But what's cool about not having much buyer feedback is if you buy from a reputable seller with a gold bar, you just pay him right away, and then he'll ship it to you. Just kind of like how eBay works. Except do not buy precious metals on eBay, guys, unless it's from, Liberty or AppMex directly. Do not buy from other eBay users. Don't do it. I've never gotten anything fake on here. I've bought tens of thousands of dollars from stuff. I've met some great sellers. You'll see here's a couple guys with no feedback, both looking to buy. I'm trying to find a guy. Okay, so here's a perfect example of someone you probably don't want to buy from when you're starting out. There's nothing wrong with this user, and I have no reason to suspect anything shady is going on here. In fact, it's probably not, but he is selling a kilogram and he has no feedback, either buyer or seller feedback. So we're going to go down here to the comments, and you're going to see people what they say. Sometimes people could be opinionated and will request that he ships first, but looks like nobody has decided to buy from him. And it's not so much maybe that he's got no feedback, maybe the price is too high, I don't know. I don't think this user is scamming anybody. You will get banned off of here instantly. The mods are great. He's got his proof, and that does not look fake. That looks absolutely real to me. But still, if I was going to buy this from this seller, I would make him ship first because I have the feedback, number one, to do that, and he's got none. So I would look elsewhere if I was a new user to Pmsforsale. And you'll see the red rectangle there. Look out for that, guys, when you are buying, because you need to know what you're doing. That being said, though, it's really hard to get ripped off on here unless you just don't use common sense, okay? Let's see. Here's another guy selling all kinds of good stuff. Okay, so this is one that's going to be a little interesting here. He is selling some stuff, some nice stuff. He's got no seller points and very few buyer points, although he does have 7. And looks like he sold everything here. So let's see. He talks about the stuff he's got. There's his shipping. Would consider shipping first to members with a high number of transactions. That is awesome. The odds of this guy being a scammer or someone fake or just irresponsible are low. He's willing to ship first. If you see strike-throughs on deals, that means that that is no longer available. It's either been sold or a deal has been made. Guys with silver bars are usually legit. I mean, I've bought actually from this user before, Climax 45, and no problems. My bar is a silver bar, and I'm legit, obviously. Some coins have, or some rounds have, you know, lewd images on it, so he put the little not safe for work. That's funny. Maybe I'll do a video on one of those if YouTube will let me. Some people sell jewelry on here, although I do not buy jewelry on here. Here's some junk silver. Here's some gold going for a decent price, and look at this user's seller feedback, 618. So you can see that this user is super legit, over 600 sales and 200 buys. I mean, I might have even bought from this user before. I can't remember. I buy from so many of these people. But look at all these, you know. PM, replied sold, buy it now. So he got first dibs on that right away. And this is kind of a new user. Same with Happy Siri here. She went to the chat. He said replied, but doesn't look like the sale went down. She may have just had a question or an offer. And that's it. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can cover in this part 1 video here. I'm going to make a list of all the things I forgot to cover for part 2 when that round gets here, and I do an unboxing for that. Let's see, there's 40,000 users of this sub. The flare here is pretty self-explanatory. I'll try to find a post with flare. These are all I sort them by the newest posts when I go through here and look most of the time. Bam. Because when you put it on this tab, stuff pops up like 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago. On the weekends, you'll see a lot of these like 5 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. And that's when you have the opportunity to buy it now or jump on the best deals, because things go really quick on here, certain items, and when it's a really good deal. So you really want to be on it. That's kind of the whole beauty of this is, you know, big sellers like Atmex and stuff, their prices are just set and that's it. And they can just leave them up there all day long. But here it's like, if you see something really rare or something really cool or a really good deal, someone else is going to snatch it up. They're not going to go to Atmex and pay like 30% more for that. They're just going to get it here, and you got to beat them to the punch. But if you're new to this, which I'm assuming most of you guys are who are listening, take your time. Just watch this for a couple weeks before you make any kind of moves or buys. And most of these gold sellers, you can PM them and ask them questions and be like, hey, I'm new here, like this and this and this. They're not going to rip you off. They're going to be cool. And they're, for the most part, going to help you. Some of them are just, you know, are busy and just don't have the time. But most of these guys are really cool. You can always message me. I'm Stacker Factor Metals on here. So yeah, these are all the newest ones today. And like I said, the rules are here, the banned user list. Oh, there's something called middlemen. So say you are a buyer and you're buying like $5,000 worth of gold from someone, and maybe they have really, really good feedback, but you still want to use what's called a middleman. This sub has like, I think it's 5 or 6 guys. Let me see if I can find them. I've actually never used a middleman, but I know how they work. Okay, so these users here all have Sigma testing machines, and the way they work is the seller will ship their gold to one of these users, and the buyer will ship payment to one of these users, whether it's electronically or a check or whatever. It's usually just electronically. They'll just pay whoever the user is, the middleman is. And once the middleman has both the gold and the money, he'll be like, I got them both. I tested it on the Sigma. It's all good. And then he'll send the gold to the buyer and he'll send the payment to the seller. If there's something wrong with the gold or payment or whatever, he'll send everything back to where it came from. So that's a really cool way to play it safe. These guys are really cool. They're trusted. This is what they do. And it's nice having that option, although, you know, I haven't used it. Let's see, what else am I missing, guys? I know this video is going to be so long, and yeah, you guys are probably going to have to take notes for some of this stuff because I've gone over it pretty quickly. But once you take the training wheels off here and maybe buy your very first round, start small, get something under $100 from a seller with a gold rectangle and good feedback, and you'll be good, and you'll kind of start riding the bike and figuring it all out. The rules here on this side are super, super important to follow, and they're more of the common sense rules than the other rules here. This more of kind of the stuff I'm explaining, but this stuff is like this one, for example. No politics are allowed in the sub, right? Keep it metals. If you see a seller who's got something just astronomically overpriced, don't bid on it, and just don't comment on it. Don't say like, why is this so expensive? You're ripping people off. Don't say stuff like that. Obviously no fake coins or replicas. I've never gotten anything fake on here. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars, and I test it. I have a $1,600 Sigma, and I test everything. So, you know, buy with confidence from the big good sellers on here, because they test their stuff too, and oftentimes they know more about precious metals than some people that you know, work at some of these big companies, or even some people that work at your local coin shop or a pawn shop. These guys are smart. The big sellers, they know what they're doing. But the feedback goes a long way, and it's the vetting process on here that kind of makes this somewhat safe to buy from. These are private sales. If something gets lost in the mail or damaged, a lot of times a seller who, you know, maybe doesn't have a lot of feedback will just say, tough luck, that's on you. And that is a risk you take. But a seller, these gold bar sellers, they will make it right. They'll either refund you or they'll send you something else, or a replacement. They aren't messing around on here, and it's a cool little community. I bought those wildlife coins that were in one of my other videos on here, and someone saw my PM and he messaged me and was like, hey, I want to buy 4 of those from you just to complete a set, and I'll give you, you know, $3 or $4 per coin over what you paid for them. And yeah, it kind of sucked because I had a nice tube of 20, but I'm like, you know what, I'll sell them those 4 coins, not really so much for the extra like 12 or 13 bucks I'm gonna make, or 15, whatever it is, just to help someone else in the community. He's got a set, he's a fellow silver stacker, it's just 4 coins, whatever. And so, you know, I made his day, and I got a seller a shiny point from doing that. So it's just a nice community, guys. It's worth learning. I've saved, I'd estimate, probably $4,000 to $5,000 in premiums and just good deals on here versus buying from AppMex or whatnot. I will say though that if I'm going to buy an ounce of gold, I'm getting that from AppMex via Walmart.com for sure with that 5% cashback MasterCard, because you're getting it way under spot that way. Most people sell 1 ounce gold on here, like just generic gold, rounds or bars or coins, for 3% over spot. So they make a little bit of money. And when you learn how to sell on here, you're going to get a lot more for whatever you're selling than if you take it to a local coin store. They're going to rip you off there. They're maybe going to give you spot or $1 above spot. If you have a maple, for example, that you want to sell on here, I know I can get probably $3, $4, maybe $5 over spot for that maple. So why would I take it to a local coin store that's going to give me like $1 when I could sell it on here to a fellow silver stacker? All right. Let's see, guys. What else do I need to cover? I know there's something. The mods are pretty cool. Any questions or problems, message them. They get back to you pretty quick, unlike mods and other subreddits who just are annoying sometimes. Yeah, so I can't think of anything more. New users, come to this subreddit, join it, hang out here, and just watch. Just watch. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Feel free to ask me questions, ask the seller questions, ask the mod questions. Avoid any kind of, if someone messages you personally or sends a chat and says, hey, I got some stuff to sell, don't buy from them. Only buy from right here on the actual subreddit itself. And always, I can't hit on this enough, check the rectangles. Check the rectangles. Check the seller feedback. Check the buyer feedback. It's really, really important. Once you make your first couple buys, you'll start seeing your little feedback bar tick up and up and up. And it's just really cool. You know, I hope this subreddit doesn't get shut down for some reason or, whatnot, because it's just really cool. And it's a great thing to be able to network with other people, other stackers, and buy and sell in a pretty safe forum without having to pay, extremely high premiums or sales tax or any of that BS. So yeah, make sure to get Zelle. That's the big one. And yeah, guys, I think that's all that I want to cover. I'm sure there's going to be more. Please feel free to ask me any questions on this YouTube video in the reply section. I try to get back to everyone. My channel's starting to blow up again from that Dirty Secret video. And a lot of you guys are interested in this, and I don't blame you. This is, as a stacker, this is one of the most powerful tools and best things that I've ever learned, because I was paying... I would find good deals on silver from the big dogs, but it was a lot of work and a lot of time, and sometimes I just ended up paying, those premiums just to save all that time. But on here, it's so much fun. I just log on every day and I see new cool stuff. It can be a little addicting, so make sure you don't overspend. I'm huge on financial responsibility, guys. Yes, I'm a stacker, and yes, probably the majority of all my investments are in precious metals, and I want it that way. But I also don't have debt. I also have a diversified portfolio, and I'm responsible about my stacking. And I'm also not a financial advisor. And I am not sponsored. I do not have any association with Pmsforsale other than I buy, and I've sold one or two things on here. But that's it. I just really like it. I want to share that with you guys because I've been seeing super high premiums, and some of the big dog sellers are having like $500 minimums per order and this and that, and they're making a mint off of you guys, and it's not fair. So and then some states like California charges sales tax on precious metals that on all sales under $1,500, which is just messed up because, you know, people who are buying $1,500 and more at a time are probably pretty wealthy. And if you just, you know, are a server or a waiter or something like that, and you just want to add maybe 4 or 5 buffaloes to your stack, and you go down to the local coin store, now you're paying 8% on top. It's just, no, just, and then on top of those premiums too, but the local coin store has to hike up. It's just, you're getting ripped off. So come here, learn how to use this. Be careful, read the rules, and make sure you go to the, where is it? Right here and right here. You'll see protect yourself from getting scammed and thread for beginners and off-topic conversations. Read all this stuff that you can that I was showing you guys. These 2 things here, the main rules here in this little link, how to, I don't think I clicked on this. Let's see. I'm not sure what this is. Okay, this is beautiful here, how to create your posts, and then the forum rules here. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I'll let you know when this comes, when that round I bought comes in. I will do an unboxing on that, and I'll walk you guys through the rest of the sale as far as the feedback goes, and I'll try to cover anything else that I missed. This is a long video. If you made it to the end, great. You're going to learn something new, and it's going to help you in your stacking journey. Go back through, even take some notes on the things that I said. And a few of my viewers obviously participate here at Pmsforsale. So guys who are vets, who watch this video, put in the comments anything else I missed too. We really want to take care of the new stackers and people that are new to this, and we really want to protect them and help them in their stacking journey. And the last thing I want to say is when your stock starts getting over maybe like $10,000 worth of precious metals, 10,000 fiat worthless dollars of precious metals, consider getting a Sigma machine. You can get the Sigma PMV, I think it is the base model, for like $800. You can get the Sigma Pro Mini, the one I have, for around $1,600, and you can get the Sigma Pro for around $2,000. The PMV is great for 99% of stackers, but if you're buying a lot like I am, some of the other people on here, you're gonna want a Sigma Mini Pro or a Pro. The Mini Pro, in my opinion, is the way to go if you can swing it. Use some cashback points or something like that to get that down a little, the price down a little bit. And I will be doing a video with my Sigma Mini Pro. I'm gonna do like a I'm just gonna test some stuff. I'll probably test this single round that I'm getting here, just to show you guys like how the sale works on my end over here in person, as well as on the Pmsforsale end. But that's the way to go if you can swing it and get one of those. Highly recommend it. And I will also be doing a full tutorial on how to use the Sigma Mini Pro, because the ones out there are okay. I think it's Silver Seeker has done one, and it's a good one, but there are some things that he left out that are really important, so I'll try to touch on those. And guys, as always, you know what I'm gonna say. Keep on stacking. This is Stacker Factor, signing off.